Hey kids, it's August 7th, Friday. Today was a bit of a mixed day. I had some calls and things to take care of, so it was full in that sense. But I also probably took a little more me time than I was supposed to. And honestly, it was great. I went for a long walk and listened to my books. Your mother and I had a lovely lunch date. We even had a couple of drinks. It was brilliant. And that made me think about something we have already touched on many times. Taking care of ourselves. Physically, mentally, resting, recovering. Because all of that matters far more than I appreciated when I was younger. There is a well-known analogy I once heard that stayed with me. Some version of it has often been attributed to Warren Buffett. Imagine that when you turn 18, someone comes to you and says, you can choose any car you want. Maybe you choose something extremely expensive, maybe something practical, a sports car, a sedan, something comfortable. By the time you are 18, perhaps cars will drive themselves, and you'll laugh at the fact that your father once had to hold a steering wheel. But there is one rule. This is the only car you will ever get. You can never replace it. Never sell it and buy another one. If the engine breaks, you repair it. If the seats tear, you repair them. If something stops working, you have to live with the consequences. This car has to carry you for your entire life. Now, I think you would treat that car very differently. You probably wouldn't put terrible fuel into it simply because it was slightly cheaper. You wouldn't ignore the oil change for 5 years. You wouldn't see a warning light flashing on the dashboard and say, I'll deal with that someday. You would probably learn quite a lot about the car. You would service it, listen when the engine made a strange noise, keep it reasonably clean. You might even become slightly annoying about it. Careful with the door, because this thing has to last another 60, 70, maybe 80 years. Kids, you already have something exactly like that. Not a car, your body. And your mind comes with it. You get one package. Yet strangely, human beings often take better care of things they can replace than the one thing they cannot. Drop your phone and immediately, oh no, is the screen broken? Scratch the car and suddenly it is an emergency. But with our bodies, we sometimes wait until something actually goes wrong before paying attention. We sleep badly for months and only care when we are exhausted. We eat terribly for years and think about nutrition only when our bodies begin complaining. We stop moving and then wonder why movement becomes difficult. We carry stress around every day and keep telling ourselves, I'll deal with it later. I have been guilty of many of these things myself. And as I get older, I increasingly understand something I wish I had understood earlier. Maintenance is much easier than repair. You don't change the oil because the engine has already broken. You change it partly so that the engine does not break. Our bodies work in a similar way. Exercise is not only something you do after becoming unhealthy. Sleep is not a reward you earn after finishing absolutely everything else. Good food is not medicine you discover only after something goes wrong. Rest is not weakness. These things are maintenance, and maintenance is usually cheaper in effort, pain, time, and sometimes money than trying to repair serious damage later. The same is true mentally. Think about what you put into your mind every day, the people you surround yourself with, the things you watch, what you read, the endless noise you consume, the conversations you repeatedly have, even the way you speak to yourselves. Those are inputs too. If I poured terrible fuel into a beautiful car every morning, you would probably call me an idiot. Fair enough. So every now and then, it is worth asking, what am I regularly putting into myself? Is it helping me or slowly damaging something? But there is an important other side to this analogy. I do not want you to spend your lives obsessing over the car. Because what is the point of owning a perfectly maintained car that never leaves the garage? That is not the goal. The purpose of the car is to take you somewhere. And the purpose of taking care of yourselves is to live. So eat the cake sometimes. Stay up late talking to someone you love. travel, get dirty, have adventures, take sensible risks. Enjoy a drink when you are old enough if that is something you want to do. Do things simply because they are fun. Your health should not become another prison. There are people who become so obsessed with living perfectly that they almost forget to live. Every calorie becomes a calculation. Every missed workout becomes a moral failure. Every late night becomes a disaster. I do not think that is healthy either. The goal is not perfection. The goal is capability. I want to take care of myself because I want this body to keep taking me places. Right now, I want enough energy to run around with you. I want to be able to pick you up, play, travel, go swimming, walk for hours. And one day, when you are adults, I still want to be able to travel with you. If you have children of your own, I want to play with them too. I want to carry my own bags, climb stairs, think clearly, laugh loudly, participate in life rather than simply watch it happening from a chair. Of course, none of that is guaranteed. That is important too. You can take fantastic care of a car and something can still break. Bodies are the same. People who exercise become ill. People who eat well develop diseases. People who do everything right can still have terrible luck. Stoicism is useful here again. Health is not completely under our control, but how we treat our health is much more within our influence. I cannot guarantee myself a long life, but I can influence how I treat the life I have been given. That distinction matters. And please remember that taking care of yourself is not selfish. Sometimes people, especially when they have families or demanding responsibilities, begin treating themselves as the least important person on the list. Everyone else gets their time. Work gets their energy. Children get attention. Partners get attention. Problems get attention. And whatever remains goes to themselves. I can fall into that trap too. But eventually, the system starts failing. A permanently exhausted parent is not giving their family some heroic gift. A body that never recovers eventually has less to give. A mind that never gets quiet becomes harder to live inside. So sometimes, taking the walk, reading the book, sleeping longer, exercising, or simply doing nothing for an hour is part of your responsibility, not an escape from it. That is partly what I was doing today, taking some time for myself. Not because the rest of my life is unimportant, exactly the opposite. Because I want enough energy to keep showing up for it. Throughout your lives, you will own many things. Phones will be replaced. Clothes will wear out. You may live in several houses. You will probably own more than one car. Most possessions can eventually be repaired, replaced, upgraded, or simply left behind. But from your first day to your last, you travel in the same body, and you carry the same mind. Both will change enormously over time. They will age. They will occasionally fail you. They will need repair. And none of that means you have done something wrong. But take reasonable care of them. Not because you need to remain young forever. Not because you should be frightened of aging. Not because life must be perfectly healthy. Take care of yourselves because you have somewhere worth going, things worth doing, and hopefully people worth being there for. Maintain the car, but please drive it, and do not ever forget, I love you both very, very much.